Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to some more Victoria 3 and the start of a brand new series that we're calling Napoleon Dai Nam-ite, which obviously we're going to be doing Dai Nam. But before we do, let's get the formalities out of the way here. Hello, me. Oh, I missed it. Hello, me. Hello, me. Hey, right back at you, buddy. There we go. It's working. Let's see. Hey, Super Frank, what's up? What's up? There are not a lot of streams this week, so I need to catch every minute of it. Yeah, unfortunately. Good segue, though. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm out of town during the middle part of the week. So unfortunately, this is going to be the only Victoria 3 stream today. We're not going to have the night session. I won't be able to stream on Thursday, so after today, the next one will be on Friday with some more Anno 117. But we do have this session, and so we're going to get started. You know, it's really funny because I was going... Originally, and I mentioned this on the stream last week, we were going to start an India stream this week. I was thinking we would do Hindustan, but in my tests of it, I saw that the Unstable Raj journal entry wasn't working. When you got your presidential stability or princely state stability below 225, it wasn't tracking the number of months, which significantly changes an India run. Every India run I've always done, it's been difficult because, like if you're not playing as the EIC, because the rebellion starts and you need to be ready by the time that rebellion hits. But if you have the full, I think it's like 20 years, and you know you're going to have the full 20 years, it kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off. So I was like, you know, we're going to do Dai Nam this time because it's not a true India run if the Unstable Raj journal entry isn't working. Lo and behold, just this morning, Victoria 3 releases a hotfix at 1.12.3, and they fixed it. So we were already scheduled to do Dai Nam, so we're going to do Dai Nam. So maybe after Dai Nam, we'll do an India run. I can't believe they fixed it just this morning. Hilarious. Hey, J-Makers, what's up? What's up? How are you? Good to see you, my friend. Peter, hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. How you guys doing? How's your weekend? Hope all is well. All right, let me get everything together here so we can get started. All right. New game. Start in the sandbox. All right. And we are starting as Dai Nam. A newly reunited Vietnam emerges from centuries of division and strife. Will Dai Nam consolidate itself and build a great nation, or is it destined to be divided once more? All right, let's do this. Yep, final month of night shift ahead. All right, for March on, I will work daytime. Yay, nice. All right, glad to hear. Congrats. I'm sure that will be a relief. Working nights is tough. I've never worked a true night shift before, but I have worked shifts, regular shifts that went to like midnight. So I can sympathize a little bit, but not fully. A night shift is a tough one. Though my wife used to have to do those because she worked as a nurse. So she had to put like garbage bags around the window and then get blackout curtains so that she could try to sleep during the day. Oof. Doing well. That Tlemcen run was very fun. Nice. Stomping Castile and England, taking over North Africa was pretty fun. Oh, wow. Nice. Got to post some screenshots on the Discord, on the Hamcord. Because as an Algerian, it'll make me very happy to see a map like that. Especially after our debacle. Been doing for some 28 years. Oh my god. So this is gonna be like a great change. Oh man, congratulations, you earned it. it sounds like you definitely earned it, my friend. Alright, so, let's start with tech first. I think it's a good place to start. Hey, how are you? How are you? Owl the Mulfer, hello, hello. Good to see you finally. Yeah, finally catch the stream. We'll stay here for a couple minutes, then go away, then return. Maybe no worries. Do what you can. But good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Sunlight, yay, vampire warning. Yeah, imagine that, getting some vitamin D finally. Alright, so what do we need here? We've got quite a bit of things going on. So we have a little bit of infrastructure to start. We've got a little bit of ways, and we can always get some ports. And so I say this because I don't think the very first thing we're going to go to is rushing railways. Although the Atmo engine would be nice. The thing is, there's other things we can research. We can let TechSpread do these. Because the very first things I want to do is... we're going to get Romanticism, so we can possibly get off of Traditionalism. Then Urban Planning. Then we're going to... These will probably be gone by then, but we're going to rush to Railways. Oh, and actually no. So I would rather the order go... Atmo Engine, Mechanical Tools, then this, and then the Water Tube Boiler. Then, I mean, we'll add this stuff to the queue, but hopefully by this time the military stuff has gone through, because we do need General Staff and Field Works. Then Stock Exchange, Law Enforcement. And, I mean, this is a lot, so we'll reassess by the time we get to that point. I found that doing aristocracy and military focus makes you so vicious in wars. Ah, if you're going to be a landlord, gotta be a warlord. Interesting. Okay, for EU5, so aristocracy, military focus. That's probably where we messed up last time, because we were very weak militarily. Hey, the NIS, what's up, what's up? How are you? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I did play India. It was just a visible bug. It was tracking and failing for me. Oh, see? Okay. So I did a test run for this new series as Hindustan. And according to the journal entry, if only one princely state is below 225, it starts ticking. And let me remind myself of... Yeah, the Bombay princely state was definitely below 225 for quite a long time, and I ended up playing until just the journal entry timed out. So that's what I was worried about. But if it was a visual thing, I guess maybe then we could have ended up doing India this time. But oh well. Your main problem in this one will be sulfur. Yeah, you'll be competing for it with the West Indies. Lead can be obtained by bullying Siam. Yeah, so that's a good segue into, let's take a look at our states here. So we got Baki. One thing we have here are a lot of people. All of our states are going to have a lot of people. So we got coal and logging. We have access to opium. Textiles are going to be good because we have cotton, dye, and silk all together. But we do have, pretty much in all of our states, we're going to have this Indo-Chinese forests. We lose 10% state construction efficiency, 10% infrastructure. The logging will be big. We should try to compete on the world stage with some logging exports. Then we got Chongqing. Same thing. We got Indo-Chinese forests. We got a lot of people. And this will probably be our construction state. We have iron, we have coal, we have logging, we have cotton. So this will probably be where we start. Now, I did a tutorial, my construction tutorial video, we used Dai Nam as the example, and things look a little different from then. We actually have an extra state from when I did that video. So, Vietnamese Chan Ninh, same thing, Indo-Chinese forests. But here we have the Mekong River that's giving us some infrastructure. Not as many people here because it's a split state, but we do have iron, coal, logging, and cotton. So eventually when we expand out, take this whole state, we can maybe do this as a second construction state. And then our last state is Nam-ite. It's Indo-Chinese forests. Here we get the Mekong Delta, plus 15% agriculture plantations. So we'll try to do like rice and food industries here. We got a lot of peasants. Yeah, and look, here we only have logging. But we do have fishing wharfs, so that'll help with the food industries. My very first Vicky 3 game was as Dai Nam. Haven't been back there, so many countries still play. I know, that's the one thing about this game. There's so many to play. I kind of had a difficulty deciding what the next stream was going to be because there was just a plethora. There's always a plethora of choices. But yeah, I've never done a full Dai Nam run, which is why I was kind of excited to do this one. Hey, Polar Bear, what's up, what's up? Warlock. Oh, Warlock here. Hello, hello. A few days ago, I finished Dai Nam. Oh, nice. How did it go? How'd you do? Just 24 test run. That's cheating. Hey there, just 24. Yeah, just a little bit of a test. I don't do a full run. I usually like to play the first, like, maybe 10 years in the game just to get a sense of where to start, and then I save the rest of it for the stream. Sorry, East Indies. Oh, yeah. Hey, Adam Bong, hello. Dai Nam have a unique company for clothes factory. Yes, good point. We are first going to aim for that, and it looks like a really good company. Yeah, here it is. The Namdin Textile Factory. And I really like this, the plus 10% tech spread, which we're going to need. So what's interesting is you need to research corporate charters first. Okay, that's how we're going to get our first company. So we're going to need to build a level 5 textile mill in Tonkin up here, which we will. So this will probably be the first company we do. You know, even though generally the generic metals company is usually a good one at the start. Even the steel one, and then also the generic one that gives you tools. I just forget what that one is called. It's down here somewhere. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, this one is also a pretty good one, but as much as I usually like to start with the metal company, I think this will be a good one to start. I would like to get this tech spread early. And, you know, this will be just good economically for us. Do you know of the Bombay Burma Trading Company? No, I do not. Tell me about it. Peter Olsen, industry in the north. The usual Vicky 3 game ends in Brits. Yeah, ruining your game. Yeah, I know. We're gonna have to keep an eye on them, right? But yeah, generally, I think Dai Nam, a good play is we're gonna have agriculture in the south, construction in the central area, and industry up here in Baki. Britishers ruined my run. Oh no. They always do. They should give a free world feature in game rules, like in which every country is balanced. Oh, and we don't have to get bullied from great nations. That would be that sounds like the makings of a mod right there. I think you need to make a mod there, my friend. Actually, my Romania will be ruined by Russia. That also tracks. That sounds about right. Okay, so let's set up our first construction sectors here. So we're on traditionalism. We don't have urban planning. So we're going to start with a trade center here. Then, there's something interesting I want to try doing. I've never really tried this before. So remember, the investment pool is at 0. So they're not going to be building right away. We're going to start with one construction sector, because we'll get 12 points. We're not going to have to split it with the private sector because they can't build yet. So we can get 2 additional construction points. We'll use the trade centers to get the goods that we need for it. Then we're going to do a logging camp, tooling, one more logging, cotton logging. And then we'll build the second construction sector. So we're going to start with this. And this will get us our 2 construction sectors up and running and the goods that we need for them. In fact, you know, we could probably sneak the second construction sector in before we do the cotton and the logging. Because by this point, the investment pool, or probably sooner than this point, the investment pool will start building and we're going to lose construction points. We'll see how this goes. If the investment pool starts building and we lose 25% of our points, then we'll bump the construction sector up. I don't know how much this will work. This kind of goes against what my own advice on it was, but I kind of want to see how it works. Tools, metal, paper, food, ammo, explosive, cars is my go-to company order. I mean, that's a solid company order right there. I think that's also generally what you want to do if you don't have any unique companies. Now, the unique company here, I don't know necessarily if it outweighs things like metal and steel and tools and all that. But we'll see. I kind of want to utilize that tech spread. One way to raise GDP is the traditional way, conquer more land. Yeah, that is kind of going to be a goal here. We're going to try to battle Siam for Southeast Asia here. All right, so we have our construction sectors away. Get ourselves a general. Now we really got to look at the ideology of these generals. So we got a moderate. Why is this guy an authoritarian and a moderate? So a landowner, but he is moderate. I do like this stuff. Or we can get a moderate armed forces. I think we'll start with this guy just because we can get the armed forces a little bit. Now, originally in my construction video, I had said to lower the amount of soldiers here because we start with 55 irregular. Irregular infantry, you can see, just starts with awful stats. So what's the point? But now I feel like it's a little different because of Siam over here. Siam starts with 45 battalions. They're going to be antagonistic towards us. And their army are 45 irregular infantry. So I kind of want to keep the 55 here. We'll keep an eye on our money. If it's really starting to drain us, we'll start lowering it a little bit, but I want to stay above 45. Let's get ourselves a defensive strategist, as much as I don't want an authoritarian. We could kind of use this guy, so against my better judgment, we'll do it. Private sector starts building railways. Run route. Yeah. Well, unless you really need it. We're going to need some railways, actually. Is there a unique company? I always try to shoehorn it in, otherwise it would not be fun. Yeah. Yeah, Rheinmetall as Central Europe is a must, for example. Yeah, absolutely with that one. Just for the memes. My girlfriend works for them. Oh! Ha! That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But it is actually a good company in the game, too. Yeah, I think the unique companies always, because of their unique prosperity bonuses, are always really good to have. The Trump approach, yeah. I have a challenge for you. Choose Russia and liberate Poland. I'd love to see that. Well, one of the runs I was actually considering doing, I would like to do on stream one time, is to start as Krakow and get the achievement for it. Liberate Poland with them. One of these days. One of these days. Outer Signal, what's up? What's up? How are you? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. How you doing? It's logging rubber with prestige hardwood. Tea cotton oil as an option. You need to Burma provinces trading rights in Britain or buy Bombay from Portugal. Yeah, I was actually thinking about the logging company to start because we get such bonuses with logging. Trying to create like a logging empire here. And you can get tools and you get infrastructure. I'm still kind of considering it, but we're going to start with the it's going to be some time before we get a company anyway. We'll see what our situation is by then. Hey, LaPlace, what's up? What's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. How you doing, buddy? Alright, and then law. What are we starting with the law? Let's take a look at our leader. Win Fuk Fuk Dam. He's a traditionalist. We get lower decree costs, minus 20% radicals from political movements, plus 10% loyalists from political movements. Alright. So we're just going to throw everybody in, because we can. You know, interestingly, our Confucian scholars are so low here, as is everybody. And then we're going to try to get off of serfdom. I don't know if we're going to go for homesteading, because even if we can convince the armed forces to join us, they have 21.8% clout. We add that in with what we have for the success already. That's like 29.9%. It's about 30%. So it's like 30% success against a 94% stall. We got a lot of laws we got to change. I don't want to end up spending 10 years trying to get homesteading and possibly fail. So we'll start with tenant farmers. When we unpause, we'll get the negotiate. We have no institutions. And the last thing we're going to do, because we're building this trading center, we need to make sure we're not clogging up. Well, we'll keep that because we need meat. Clogging up our trade centers with all of these unneeded goods until we get our construction sectors underway. So we're just going to tariff imports. High tariff on imports for all of these things to make sure our construction sector is mainly bringing in wood and fabric for us. We'll keep fruit. Fruit and meat we kind of need for people, so... Yes, silk. We don't want you importing that. And then once we get our construction builds going, we'll take all these away. Wood, yeah, we don't want to... This is what we want tariffed in. We're not going to set a subvention yet because... I'm not sure if we need it yet. Yeah, let's hear. We have a port. You don't need to bring that in any situation. Okay, need to go. Ham, do not forget you can't build universities yet, but you should. Also decrease. You got me. I'm really gonna try to keep up with universities on this one. We really need it. But you know me. You know me. I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna forget. Have a good one, my friend. We'll see you later, hopefully. Oh no, Laplace. Internet sucks. Yeah, I know that feeling. I feel like my internet sucks all the time. As many of you have seen when the stream drops out every now and then. If I want wood early game with a company, I would go for the generic paper company. Ah, yeah, and give it wood. That way government and unis become cheaper. Yeah, and you get a prestige good to build the economy around. This is true. That is probably the better one. See, the only good thing about the wood company is it does give you a bunch of extra infrastructure. So you could do that, but eventually we're going to want railways anyway. So I think you're right about that. The paper company is best if you want wood. Speaking of flavor company, why Britain doesn't have Rolls-Royce? That company is 1 year apart from Ford Motor. You know, I wonder about that too. There's a couple of companies like that, right? I always wonder if there's an issue with like do they have to pay royalties to these companies that are still in existence to use their name? Or are some companies saying don't use our name in the game? I don't know. Like, that's just total speculation on my part. But there are some companies, like you mentioned, Rolls-Royce. Why is that not there? Hey, Maximilian, what's up? What's up? How you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Oh, I had to cancel tonight's stream and reschedule for next week. Unfortunately, oh no, I'm quite ill and won't be able to do anything. I suppose when men plan, God laughs. Yeah. Yeah, hey everybody, Maximilian has started streaming, and he does a lot of King of the Castle, which is really fun. So go give Maximilian a follow on Twitch so you're alerted when he's doing that, because it is a fun, interactive game. So check it out. Alright. Alright, so last thing we want are decrees. We're just going to load up road maintenance everywhere. We're going to put social mobility only in these three because there's not a lot of people there. And then lastly, we're going to encourage the resource industry here to, at least at the beginning, help us with our construction sectors. We're not going to have a benefit to enactment time, but I'm kind of okay with that. All right. I think we're good. We're going to take a save since it took us so long to set this up. And I think we're finally ready to hit the unpause. Away we go. The only bad thing is you need 5 paper mills early. Oh yeah, that's right. That blocks your construction for like 2 years at this point in the run. Yeah. And you just end up with like 5 levels of paper mill that aren't going to be fully utilized. But you are right. I mean, that is the way to go because you're always going to need paper. Now, the one good thing, though, about the forestry company is that you also get rubber, which is a later game thing, and you get tools. So that's kind of nice with this company. But you're right, you don't get a prestige good. And also, where is that paper company? The prosperity bonus is good. Plus 10% bureaucracy is also actually very nice. And paper is a more profitable export good anyway than those others will be. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, there's always one thing you'll forget to do. And by you, I mean me. So let's start doing some diplomatic stuff. Great Qing. For now, let's do them. Let's get good with everybody. We're not going to get good with Siam because we're going to battle them. I think Great Britain has an interest here. I don't think France does. Oh, they do! There we go. And that'll be good for now. Thanks, everyone. I go back to my long sleep. See you. Oh, yeah, get some rest, my friend. Oh, I'm sorry that you're sick. That sucks. Get some rest. Good to see you, though. Thanks for stopping in to say hi. I was thinking of something that may be a good early strat for landowner and devout capture early on. Use shipbuilding, trade, and early conquest to build up industry and leverage aristocrat aggression. That's not bad, actually. Yeah, trade, build up, like, trade centers, and, yeah, build up trade centers. Not only are you going to be hiring, pretty sure petite bourgeoisie benefit from that mostly, and then you can import a lot of the agricultural goods and lower their profitability. It's not a bad strategy either. See, this is why I always say there's no meta. There is no meta. Because there's so many different ways you could take it. Oh. So, I almost forgot. We're going to raise these up. We're going to lower taxes. Because we have a subject. Oh, yeah. We need to improve relations with them. Ah, we already have a rivalry with them. Alright. We'll stop with Burma, just so we can improve relations with these guys. Because you can see, they've got a high liberty desire. So let's reduce their subject payments, because our budget's decent right now. And let's give them investment rights in us. But we're going to have to keep an eye on this. Part of our biggest problem is our prestige here. We've got to raise our prestige a little bit. And... yeah. Alright. So we'll keep an eye on that. It might be a problem, but... Flavor company is so limited. Like, there's a construction company in Japan that dated back to 1700s, and Bloom Boss, the company that builds Bismarck, if I'm not wrong, dated back to 1868-ish. Yeah, but I think there's only so many flavored companies you can give each country, I think. They probably have a limit on how many they're going to add in. The landowners refuse to give up their serfs without adequate compensation. Their significant political influence makes this a difficult demand to refuse. Yeah, we don't want to add this. Landowners will cease opposing tenant farmers, causing stalled enactment chance to decrease by 31%. That's pretty good. Ooh. Yeah, why would we, if we were gonna, why would we take this one over the other ones? So we progress by one phase, but we get -10 enactment success rate. Let's pause for a second here. This is a tough one. So we'll get a setback, but we'll move ahead one phase. We'll also gain plus 20% enactment time. We're going to gain some radicals. Well, here's the thing. Lowered tax income. Okay, I'm tempted to take this. First of all, I don't get... Why would I ever... I guess if I want more radicals from the political movements, lowered standard of living for the peasants on subsistence stuff will cause them to get off of the subsistence farms a little bit better. But I don't really want to do that right now. I'm tempted to take this only because... So we're going to get that. We're going to get an amendment to tenant farmers that's going to lower our tax income. But tenant farmers is always just a stepping stone. We want to get off of tenant farmers eventually and get to homesteading. So we'll take the tax hit on tenant farmers and have it until we finally just get to homesteading. Although we could just move ahead one phase and keep going and get one setback and keep going at 6%. Nah, I don't want to take -10% tax income on this stuff. I feel like I'm going to kick myself for doing that later. We'll do this. Alright, so we'll take the setback. 10% of nothing is nothing. Yeah, no, but during this time, we're going to end up getting, you know, quite a bit of... our main tax right now... Maybe you're kind of right. You might have been right on that one, actually. You're right. 10% of nothing is nothing. Yeah, maybe I did end up... You know, I never noticed before, but the shape of Dai Nam looks exactly like... Not exactly, but like the coast of New Jersey. I never realized that before. Here's New Jersey. And here's Dai Nam. Who knew? See? Life is the same everywhere you go. Yeah, military industry is very profitable when the government creates demand for industry. Yeah, and especially if you know you're going to be going to war quite a bit. I was just doing an offline run with Persia trying to get the Great Game objective, and so military was a big thing, and military company was like one of the first things I went for. And let's not forget U.S. Banana Company, the company that coup Honduras because the price of bananas up to 50 cents. Yeah. Yeah, that one came, I forget, with one of the DLCs. I forget which one. Actually, I think it might have been Charters of Commerce, right? Alright, we have our trade center in here. We actually have another trade center here I want to pin. But let's look at Chunky. Yeah, Yeah, so they're bringing in a little bit there. Ah, okay. So now we're splitting with the private sector. Let's try doing this. We can bring taxes up a little bit, actually. And add a consumption tax. For now, we'll do the consumption tax on... Yeah, we'll do it on liquor. And add that other one in there. Hey, MW, I live in Da Nang, and let me tell you, it's exactly like Jersey here. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Thank you, thank you. That makes my... That warms my heart as somebody who grew up in New Jersey. I think that's why I noticed it. Amazing, amazing. What was meant as a routine speech about the merits of tenant farmers by Chong Min Nong Kao has quickly devolved into a public relations disaster for the landowners. So, I do look up the pronunciations for things before a stream, before a series, and I'm always very bad at it. But the one thing I looked up is that TR is pronounced as CH. And so I'm trying to remember that, but I'm going to have those moments throughout this entire series where I see the TR and I'm like, Chong Min. But I know it, but I might not always say it. Alright, so we can lose 15% enactment success chance. Yeah, see, maybe I messed up. Taking the setback was not the way to go. I think maybe we'll take the second setback and get a plus 10% here. Yeah, minus 10% of 0 is 0. I should have listened. Oh yeah, I missed the second part there. That is, I could be wrong. I'm not an aristocrat. I think you were right. I think you have a little bit of aristocrat in you, because I think you were right. Representing his constituents and the rural folk, Lee Nong Kao has issued a formal petition to the Vietnamese government to pass isolationism. No, we don't. We don't want to do that. Alright, we'll still keep honest work. Shockingly similar Twin Cities. Yeah. Yeah, right? Like... Newark and Hanoi. The Twin Cities. With his first company, he will produce jersey too. Outfitting. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna make a bunch of jerseys with my textile company. You know, there's this magic plant called opium that your neighbor next door really, really wants that poppy. Yeah. Yeah, actually, remind me, I forgot to pin our opium trade journal entry. So we're going to want to get the opium plantation here up to level 10. And then we can start doing that. Actually, maybe... well, I won't add it to the queue, because the private sector might actually build it. So Chanche Tun is requesting greater degree of autonomy. Yeah, we're going to say no. See what happens with it. I just looked at the unique companies. The banana company gives mines, I repeat, minus infamy decay as a prosperity bonus. Oh. I mean, it makes sense, but it seems like he's only there for the achievement. Yeah, yeah, it is actually. I think it's like, it's really just for the achievement. Because there's so much better companies to do, especially when you're the US. I love that opium trade, yeah. Said many of people at this time. Good luck with Vietnamese. Vicky doesn't give you the Dao Thon. Don't trisides. Oh, okay. Vietnamese is a tonal language, like Chinese. Monosyllabic. Oh my god, yeah. Oof. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough series then. I am not good. I'm not good, but I'm going to try. It's still worth trying. My friends always hate me for that. Yeah. You mean when you do, like, multiplayer? You become the opium tycoon? I mean, it's a good strategy, actually. Alright. So we gotta get through this tooling industry. Yeah, logging. We might end up... Well, hold on. So let's add tooling, and then we're gonna put a subvention on the import. This should make it, since we put such a tariff on everything else, this should really make them start bringing in tools. And yeah, you know what? We will put a small one on the import of wood as well. A group of influential rural folk led by Linongkao are petitioning for the rapid abolition of serfdom. Oh, okay, finally some... No, we'll take the guaranteed 10. Alright, so we're up to 25%. They don't want to negotiate because they know they don't need to. Oh well. Alright. Alright. All good. Yeah, it's always, you know, I should have followed my original advice. The thing we're trying is not great. It's always this initial tooling workshop that takes forever. And we're kind of burning cash here. I put these up. You know, this is what we'll do. We'll do that. I put these up because I'm trying to keep, I mean, not so much this, but for prestige from army power projection, so that we can lower their liberty desire, but it wasn't really helping us anyway. Ooh, actually, it looks like it kind of was. Yeah, see those military wages. Let's go down to 50. You know, I hate to do it, but we can take one of these off. Take the road maintenance off of there. We'll add another consumption tax. Oh, we might not. We look like we're kind of okay right now. We'll add social mobility back in. Alright, we're kind of good. So I would like to keep the 2 construction sectors. Alright. Okay, we're off to a decent start here. We can actually, we'll go to speed 4 because we really just need to build. Although it looks like our trade centers are not bringing... Ooh, all right, we're in adoption. That's good. Our trade centers are not... Hold on, let's slow down for a second here. Why... Oh, yeah, that's why we were importing merchant marines. Well, let's go to that. And we will import some clippers. This will make things a little better here. What are you guys importing? Oh, you're importing merchant marines? Speed 4, my beloved. I always play on that. 5 is way too uncontrollable for me. Yeah, and 3 and below is just too slow. Yeah, I prefer 3. Except for moments like this where it's like, we just gotta get through a build queue. We're not really gonna be able to do much until we get through this. So this is my speed 4 condition. Unless a bunch of things start popping off. Be a lot of work, but I've concluded that Vicky 3 does a terrible job of portraying Islamic countries and why they weren't industrialized earlier. Reducing them to medieval fiefdoms is silly. Do you know... Okay, it's funny you mentioned that. I don't know what's coming, but there was... I forget which stream this was and which update it was. It was either for National Awakening or Iberian Twilight. It was one of the Victoria 3 streams that they do. Martin, the lead guy, was on the stream and he mentioned something about something they're bringing, some change they're making for Muslim countries. And I think the other person on the stream with him was Victoria. I could be wrong. And she kind of looked at him and he was like, oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. But I didn't catch what he said. And this was on Twitch, so I couldn't rewind it. So I think there's a change coming for Muslim countries. Or at least, or I don't even know if it's just Muslim countries. It might just be region specific. It's like the region over here. But I didn't hear what he said, and it really sounded like he was like, ooh, I wasn't supposed to say that. They just released the dev diary for the hotfix. Well, it wasn't a dev diary, but they released the note about the hotfix today. They said at the end of January, we're getting our first dev diary announcing what the first big change is going to be. Frustrated with the lengthy legal process surrounding tenant farmers, Chong Nim Nongkao of the landowners has approached us with an offer to expedite the process utilizing his personal connections within the state apparatus. Ooh, yeah, we could go with losing some enactment time. Because we're currently at a +8 on it. And we can afford to lose 2 from the rural folk, so we'll do that. For me, it's either 4 or pause. Nothing in between. I love how in Victoria 3, I'm sure it's like this actually in most Paradox games, but everyone has their preferred speed, right? And I love it because it's one of those things where there's no right or wrong answer. But everyone has their set in stone choice. Nice. I tend to think a lot of countries were literate and advanced, just politically anti-capitalist. Yeah, which was anti-merchant before. Quran is a much more civil governance book than many know. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. People don't really understand what the Quran is. That it essentially, in many ways, the Bible in poetic verse, and then a bunch of societal rules and laws. All very progressive, actually, for the most part. For the most part. It is still a religion in the end. I play at speed 1. I'm told this makes me a scary person. I love it. I love it. See? Everyone has their choice. I need speed 1 when an event pops off. I really like to take a moment and think about the options that I have. It's rare that I'll have an event where I stay on speed 3. So yeah, speed 1 for me is events and anytime I need to focus. The full Vicky 3 campaign in speed 1 is my new definition of insanity. Yeah, I think that and a full campaign on speed 5. Ah, we got it. We got tenant farmers. See, look at that. Immediately I go to speed 1 because we got to do stuff. Okay. So we're on tenant farmers, so we can technically go interventionism if we can get some people. Actually, do we have... Once we finish this tooling workshop, we're going to sell it to the private sector and start trying to get our industrialists on the board. For now, the next law we should go for... Yeah, we can't do anything here. We could get on professional army. We don't want to do local police force, and we need law enforcement for that. So actually, yeah, let's go professional army, because we're wasting unit experience. And so we could really use this. And it'll give some political clout to officers here. Oh, yeah, that's right. Instead of the plus 25% political strength of aristocrats, who I'm sure are just and only landowners right now. Yeah, we'll go professional army. It's also kind of just the only thing we can do. And we're at 100 amenability for the rural folk, so whatever they ask for will be cut in half, so let's do that. Prominent rural folk meet in Hui's finest cafe to discuss professional army. With the right leverage, perhaps their opinions could be swayed. So yeah, they really want isolationism, and we're not going to do that. But staple crops, how many? Ah, we just need to build 2? Easy. Easy peasy. We can do that. You play on speed 4 because it's too fast. I play on speed 5 because my laptop is bad. We are not the same. Oh my god, that needs to be a Victoria 3 meme. You simply adopted speed 5. I was born into speed 5. I used to play in speed 1 all the time. Stellaris EU4, Vicky 3. And first time in EU5 as well. Now I usually play at speed 3. Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's speed 1, speed 3. For some reason, I never go to 2. I never find a reason to go to 2. I either want to be in 3 or 1. Alright, we got our tooling workshop. So now, let's stop paying a subvention on that. Let's get it built up. Or hired up. Alright, what's your guys' problem here? November 9th. Alright, we'll come back to you. Alright, and now let's sell it. Alright, November 9th. Let's see what happens. There we go. You passed the law with 535 and a setback in phase 2. I would have reset the enactment already at that point. Yeah. I know, right? It wasn't looking good there. I was actually kind of surprised we got that one. I thought when I made that one choice of taking the setback to go to the second phase and we're at 6% success, I was like, I messed this one up. Sometimes the game surprises you. Hey, Connie, what's up? What's up? Good to see you. Molded by the Speed 5. Yeah, that's right. Molded by the Speed 5. Iron Grit and Speed 5. That is life. Okay, what is this nonsense here? You know what we're going to do? I want to make this building profitable. Ah, academia. Very nice. I want the building to be profitable. It's not the best thing to do, but we're going to go to harvesting tools. Just because I want this building to have more demand, become more profitable, and then the industrialists can take it over. I'm a speed 4 guy. Nice, nice. Yeah, we should have everybody declare their speed. What is your speed, players? Hey, Cyberdragon, what's up, what's up? I think there's an option in the settings that pauses the game automatically. Yeah, when an event pops up. Yeah, then resumes it back after. I've always thought about doing that one. I don't know why I've never done it. I've seen it before in the settings. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then I just go right over it. It probably would be best for me. Hey, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Tried playing Vicky 3 this weekend, and it's still a bit much for me. It is. In the end, Vicky 3 is going to be Vicky 3, right? All right, we're at the hour mark, so we do have to take a quick 90-second break to pay homage to our esteemed gods of ads, so that we don't have anybody watching the game through an ad break. So, 90 seconds, and then we will be right back. All right, and we're back. And we're back. Let's see what I missed. I was doing research and modding to get the AI to use tariffs, and I was surprised to find that tariffs barely ever change in Victoria 3 because the AI just relies on historical settings at the beginning of the run. Really? So the AI... I've never really looked at it before. So you're saying the AI doesn't really change their tariffs? Can't even mod it so the AI dynamically changes. Wow. I'm very surprised by that, actually. Because the whole tariff system was such a big addition to the game. I wonder why they did that. Finished my France Vicky 3 game the other day. Got the Belle Epoque achievement. Nice, congrats. But the rest of them eluded me, yeah. Prussia went for unification early, and the first war against them bankrupted me, no. Got a bit passive after that, but managed to build up the country. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I have to say, France is actually a very, very tough country to play because of all the voice of the people content. I did an offline one. I don't remember what version of the game it was in. But yeah, it was really tough, especially the beginning part with when you have all the different, what do you call them? interest groups and the ideologies floating around. I ended up missing one of the achievements. I think it was the Paris Commune one. I don't think I got that one. Because there's just so much going on. It's impossible to keep track. Oh, stupid general cooed me as well. Yeah, see, I played before the new coup mechanic. That's true. I can't imagine a France run right now. With all that. With really not being able to take certain generals because of their ideologies, or taking them and risking that. I usually play nations with the goal of cracking Britain at some point. Legit, legit. I'm trying Portugal, which is kind of a smaller nation, yeah. But our alliance just ran out, so I'm a bit worried. In my game, Britain has actually vassalized Ham's country, so I'm worried for him. Oh no! Yeah, I know. This is one of those areas of the world where people are coming for you, so... We're gonna have to make the turn at some point. You know, that reminds me, so... What are we getting in tech spread here? Cotton gin... Oh yeah, cotton gin and mandatory service makes sense, because... That's just the next ones. We're getting romanticism on tech spread. I guess we're fine with researching what the tech spread is, because we really need romanticism right now. You know, we also need to build and some more staple crops. We should build them here, because we get... Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to build these 2 staple crops, and then we'll build our first food industry here. Oddly enough, for this country, yeah, we have so much grain. So once we finish this cotton plantation, this logging camp, we can put all these tariffs back to normal. We have one more logging camp incoming. Although they're not hiring here. Yeah, let's fix the wages here. Get this up. Because we're just about... Oh, nice. Alright, consideration. You know, we gotta get our budget back on track. What do we have? 43k. Well, we have 43k in the reserves. We're only going down 100 pounds right now, so we're kind of good at the moment. Now, what's going on with these guys at Liberty Desire? Not good stuff. So it'd be nice if we could raise the military wages, get a little bit more prestige. It's not going to be a full 3%. If we could do a little bit more with economic dependence. What are we buying from them? Fruit. Oh, okay, hold on. So we have tons of grain. We don't have enough fruit. Why don't we fix that? Yeah, so this is the one that's not being profitable. Now this will make it a little bit more profitable. We'll see if they hire up here. I love the new law enactment changes. Managed to get slave trade from Brazil as Japan. Not worth in any way. But it's funny. Yeah. I love the new law enactment stuff. The whole like negotiating with interest groups, I think, is really... It adds such a cool extra layer of strategy. I think maybe this is not the way. Really do want them to buy that, though. See, though, they're gonna... We need to have way more money in order to do that. Alright. Though I suppose I don't necessarily want these to be the most profitable building. What's fruit at now? What's grain at? So we could probably go with doing that here as well. Alright, so now fruit is good. So let's take a look at the Liberty Desire here. So we got a little bit more. But it still says we're getting a lot of fruit from them. An armed forces liberal. Yeah, who can we haven't looked at... Oh, yeah, that's right, we got this guy. Yeah, lovely for that. Yeah, getting homesteading is a lot easier now in the early game with negotiation. Yeah, I use the Devout as the broker and get a lot more success chance. Yeah, right? If only... Oh, allow into adoption, nice. Oh, we got the Petite Bourgeoisie on the board. Jingoist. Ooh, that's not bad. Can we get them in government? If we took out the rural folk. Oh yeah, this might help us actually. They oppose professional army. Let's do that. Yeah, that added 10. The Vietnamese Qing Fellowship has offered us an opportunity to acquire trade privileges from Great Qing. The lobby has offered to use their connections to smooth the negotiating process. Yeah, we'll do that. A series of perceived poor decisions by the Confucian traditionalist movement has led to a notable decrease in its ability to raise money. Numerous wealthy sympathizers have quietly halted their support for the movement in its current form. Yeah, that's fine. I don't really care about that. For Hui, your capital city. Oh, pronounce it more like Wei. Ah, Hue. Hue. Ah, thank you. I appreciate that. Keep that coming. So, Hue. Nice, nice. Okay. So I guess the accent, when I see that accent mark here, that's the sound I need to make. Huey Lewis in the news. Yeah. Oh my god. If I could play as just a city, that would be the title of the stream. That's a good stream title. Huey Lewis in the news. Can I ask a dividends related question? Yeah, go for it. Go for it. What's your question? I love a good pun. All right. So we've got our construction goods. So let's not be tariffing the hell out of everything. We can now go to, like, normal stuff. So we survived the building of the initial construction sectors with that kind of different strategy I did. I guess in the end it wasn't all that different, but it kind of worked. Oh yeah, you know, we really do need a shipyard. We really do. Alright, I think everything's good now. We're good. So, as Portugal, I understand how the treaty port in China works. And currently I've built fruit there, and the dividends are insane. But I've kept it nationally owned, but apparently I should privatize. Yeah. Because, Oh, Tony, are you in 1.12.3? I am, yes. I made sure of that before we started. So I'm utilizing the one that was just released. Why? I see when I go to my budget, I'm taking money through government dividends, and when I sell it, that disappears. I'm on the usually starting eco law, but not the worst, but the one right under it. Oh yeah, interventionism. Yeah. So you get plus 25% government dividends efficiency. So basically the idea is, let's take a look at one of our buildings, right? So we're on traditionalism. I'll use us here as an example. We'll go back to that building. Basically, in a nutshell, you're never getting the full dividend with government dividends. So you're losing money. So I guess the answer in a nutshell is, if the building is government owned, you're only going to get like 25%. I believe it's that. It might be a little bit more. I forget what the default value is. You're only going to get like 25% of this dividend actually hitting your budget. So for instance, 129 pounds of dividends are being sent from this tooling workshop. But when we look at the breakdown here, we're only getting 20 pounds actually hitting our budget. And the rest of that money just disappears. So when it comes to government-owned buildings, you're always going to be kind of losing dividends. And so in general, it's best to privatize, because it's true, you won't be getting this 20-pound dividend payment anymore, but the idea is it becomes privatized. The full amount of the dividends goes to the private owner. So we'll take a look at this. Oh no, what's privately owned here? Yeah. So 280 pounds of dividends are going to the manor houses. They're getting the full amount of that dividend to the manor house. And so the full amount of dividends goes to these workers. They get the wealth from it, raising their wealth level, raising their standard of living, and they pay taxes. So you get money back from them as from taxes, because they're getting a little bit more wealthy. So the idea is none of the money is disappearing, as opposed to a building that is utilizing government dividends. Money is just disappearing. So that's generally why people say you want to sell it to the private sector. You've got me hooked. I'm starting to play along. All right, nice. I'm already in January 36. Awesome, awesome. Play along, play along. Better. You'll be Vietnamese by the end of this. Yes. It would be amazing if I could, like, just randomly in life throw out a good Vietnamese pronunciation and just make people go, wait, what? Okay, I'm following so far, but also, does this change if they are foreign workers? Oh, and I don't care about their wages. I guess I would, because I still would be coming back to my financial houses. No. So the thing is, like, when you look at this treaty, so here's the treaty port in Macau, right? Remember, these pops are your pops. They're paying taxes to you. This is a state in Portugal. The thing is, Macau is in the Qing market. So you're utilizing the Qing market in this state that you own. So these guys... Oh, well, they're unemployed. Let's look at one that's employed. So these Yui Confucian laborers working in Chungki... Wait, what? Oh, yeah, no, sorry. This is going to look at my culture. Anyway. We'll look at a building, right? Yeah, this is owned by the manor houses in Macau. We'll look at the manor houses in Macau. These are still your pops, and they're paying taxes to you. So you'd still get their tax income. I guess I would because I still wouldn't be... I guess I would because it still wouldn't be coming back to my financial houses in full. You would still privatize, yeah. Yeah, generally you would still want to privatize because money won't be disappearing. This is all still owned by your pops. It's just not your market, which is the benefit of the treaty port. Not to mention, too, you know, when the government owns buildings, it does take bureaucracy. You get one bureaucracy for every building that you own. And so it's not much right now, but over time, this can become a little bit of a bureaucracy hit. All right, so... Whoa. This kind of went down quite a bit, huh? What do we want to build next? There's something I was thinking about. Oh yeah, let's get the opium trade going. We'll just get that out of the way. And then we'll really start building stuff up. Yeah, we've got good construction efficiency there. Okay. Look, Brits are at it again. Yeah, bullying for China. Yeah, the opium war, right? What are the goals? Oh, enforce a treaty port transfer to Tibet. Ooh. Yeah, Great Britain is really starting strong against Qing here. Yikesy. Wow, I had no idea about this. I'm scared to privatize and let my Q take control. This is why people are so obsessed with laissez-faire then, I guess. Yeah, laissez-faire, I mean, if you're really trying to go for, like, a capitalist run and really raise your GDP, eventually laissez-faire is the way to go. I wouldn't say laissez-faire is the best, because it kind of depends on what you're trying to do, but, like, if you're trying to deficit spend... If you're trying to deficit spend, laissez-faire is the way you want to go for that. I don't like losing control. I don't trust private sectors. That's fair enough. There's an economic system for that. But like for us right now, the other thing it does is it empowers the industrialists. So like I really want these urban buildings to sell, because the more wealth the industrialists have, the more political clout they'll gain, and they'll become unmarginalized. So that's another reason to sell, if that's something you need to do. To kind of break this 48.5% landowner power hold. Now, we have this lobby opportunity for trade privileges. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, they really don't want to do it. Yeah. Yeah. But we'll see if something changes with them. Something may be cool to know. Vietnam is coffee Asia, not tea Asia. Oh, so if you want to be a real life, build coffee, not tea. Oh. Yeah, look at that. We do have quite a bit of coffee everywhere. Maybe we'll try to rival Brazil in this, huh? I wanted to try a run where I care about standard of living and stuff. So I'm thinking I'll go command economy and all the other welfare laws. I see the government dividends are better on that one. Yeah. Yeah, you can get... yeah, plus 40% government dividends efficiency. Yeah, that's right. I think you get... I think by default, you get a plus 20% government dividends efficiency as a base. Plus 25, that's right. Yeah, so if you go to interventionism, you'll get 50% government dividends efficiency. Because you get a plus 25 on top of the base. So if you go command economy, yeah, you get plus 40, so you get a plus 65%. And then there are other techs you can get along the way that'll raise it. So yeah, you can, if you go command economy, you can keep most of your government dividends. But there's no situation in the game where you get plus 100% government dividends efficiency. So no matter what, you're always going to be losing some money. Now that's not to say you shouldn't do it, but I think that's the drawback with government buildings. But there are advantages to it too. Oh hey Mauricio, what's up? What's up? I love to see a new series. Same here, right? It's always fun to start a new one. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Currently, my landowners have a crazy amount of clout. I think I have too many peasants since I'm focusing on cash crops. Yeah, the amount of peasants and then the amount of like agricultural buildings you have could really is really going to sway that. Kind of like what's happening with us at Game Start here. Ah, they're building one, so we'll take one less for us to build. Laissez-faire and free trade makes you an old-school Italian republic. You get bonkers rich, but the market dependence grows over time. Same thing with the United States. If you really want to deficit spend and like balloon your GDP, laissez-faire free trade and multiculturalism in large countries with a lot of people like United States, Russia, France, Great Britain, Great Qing will really give you some deficit spending there. We've got a drought going. Did it reach us? It did over here. Yeah, losing bread needlessly does hurt me. Yeah, see, that's the thing. What can you live with more? Having money just disappear is always kind of a tough one to take. They turned belligerent towards us. Nobody really likes us right now, which kind of sucks. Now we do have road maintenance going here. Oh, no, we don't. That's right, we took it off. Oh, we can do another interest. Alright, we're temporarily going to take road maintenance off of here. So we can do it here. So we can get through this a little bit quicker. I shy away from laissez-faire nowadays. Oh, I had a game when private construction just went bonkers and overbuilt everything. Because that is some patches ago, but too much private construction scares me. Yeah, it's true. And also, you know, if you're like in somebody else's market, or if somebody already has investment rights in you, and you go laissez-faire, and they're a big country, they're going to buy up pretty much your entire economy. So it's always something to think about. Like, I hate it when I'm playing and I forget that I have a bunch of foreign investment rights agreements, and then I go laissez-faire, and I'm like, I needed to wait to get rid of those foreign investment rights agreements before I went laissez-faire, because now Great Britain, France, and Germany have bought everything in my country. More pragmatically inclined members of the rural folk, currently opposed to the passing of professional army, have offered to change their stance were they to be offered certain political concessions. Such concessions would not be popular with the armed forces, however. Yeah, the armed forces are already pretty happy. We can take a hit to them for this 10%. Thanks for the wisdom. This will all be very helpful. Oh yeah, no problem. Awesome, awesome. Good topic. Thanks for the question. That's always a good one to discuss. What's your goal for this run? You know, it's interesting. Yeah, you know, I didn't talk about that at the beginning. We don't have a specific achievement we're going for. And so I haven't done a non-achievement run in a little bit. So we're going for what I like to call a Be Awesome run. So basically just like get the rank as high as we can and then get a combination of the GDP and standard of living together as high as we can. So it's what I like to call a Be Awesome run, as opposed to the normal achievement runs. It's crazy that Spain can get 0% interest. Yeah. I mean, technically, I guess any country can get 0% interest in this game, right? It's just like... Oh, yes, here we go, romanticism, that's good. Like, for instance, getting to that as Dai Nam is going to be, like, painful. If you can do it. But yeah, after Iberian Twilight, Spain has the content to get you there. Right, one of the genius things the British Empire did was convince countries to subjugate themselves, yeah, through industrialist capture. That makes the vassal incapable of kicking out British companies. Yeah, exactly, right? And it's perfectly mirrored in this game, or incorporated in this game, you know, like you give the British investment rights and you're gonna get what's it called? The Hudson's Bay Company building up a massive regional headquarters in your country. Alright, so we have this. So we're going to start building up stuff for our people. So we'll start up here. The next things we're going to put in the construction queue. So build one of these. We'll build 2 of those. Next, we'll do some furniture manufacturers here. I don't want to add them to the list, just in case we'll get one here, but we're probably not. We don't have industrialists yet. The empire was centuries of war and feudalism being applied to finance and trade. Yeah, like when you look at what they did in India, they basically banned them from making factories. So they had them grow like all of the cotton and stuff here, ship it to Great Britain. Britain made the shirts here, and then forced India to buy the shirts from them so that people couldn't like actually industrialize and get more money there. Though previously opposing the professional army laws, Then Chen has considered the petite bourgeoisie's political position and instead offers support. I feel like that would be Tan. Tan Chan has considered the petite bourgeoisie's political position and instead offers support. You know, professional army is starting to be a pain in the butt, let me tell you. Now, who's this person? Oh, the rural folk authoritarian, and he's liked. I would actually like to get this guy to lose popularity. But I would rather get the plus 10% enactment success chance. Yeah, we'll just do that for now. So what I'm hearing is anarcho-communist utopian Dai Nam. Yeah, that's right. Why not? Let's do it. Anarcho-communist utopian. I'm gonna make that the subtitle for the stream. Napoleon Dynamite. The anarcho-communist utopian Dai Nam run. That's what we're gonna do. The British got away with some crazy stuff back then. Yeah, right. Seriously. I don't think I watched a documentary on the British occupation of India at some point because I wanted more context for Victoria 3. I did not know the full extent of what they did in India, man. It's really crazy what happened there. All right. I would like to bring taxes back down. Let's do that. I'm going to be losing a little bit of money, but it's kind of okay. How's the tooling workshop going? It's fully built. It's profitable. We don't have... We can't do that yet. How is sugar in our market? We have a little bit of it. Oh yeah, from the rice farms. How much sugar in this market? Okay, just kind of thinking ahead about this. I think we have liquor covered. Eh. I recently read that if you go technocracy with a free Siberia as a council republic, it renames to Siberia. I love this little Easter eggs in the game. No way. Oh my god. Technocracy with a free Siberia. Siberia. I have to do that now. I just have to. I want to see that. I want to see Siberia. Oh, and hey, we got professional army. All right, good. So what do we go for next here? We can switch off of hereditary bureaucrats. Get rid of this plus 25% political strength for aristocrats. Get political strength to bureaucrats. Oh, plus 25% taxation capacity actually will be wonderful for us right now, because we have a real taxation capacity problem in every state. Even this one? Yeah, not that one. So, that is absolutely where we're going to go. And our bureaucrats right now are... intelligentsia. Yeah. So let's do it. And we can... Alright, let's negotiate with the armed forces here. The armed forces have agreed to meet at a local market to surreptitiously discuss changing their stance on appointed bureaucrats. Well... I don't really want to grow the size of the army right now because we're quite large and paying quite a bit in wages. We can give them political concessions. Get the standard of living to 12.2. That's a big jump from 8.6. I think we'll just do political concessions. All right, there we go. That's looking a little bit better now. Wonder what British reputation would be today if they hadn't been the heroic defenders of the free West in World War II. Yeah, Nazi Germany as a villain did help Britain regain their reputation. That's actually a great point. In context there. That's a great point. So that other guy's name would have been Tahan. Okay, cool. I love it. I love it. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. And they divested from their colonies pretty completely, unlike the French. Yeah. Except Cyprus. Yeah. History is legitimately weirder than fiction. It is so true. It is so true. I remember a friend of mine wrote this story one time. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, here we go. So, Chongmin Nongkao, leader of the ruling landowners, has had enough of compromising with his coalition partners. He has demanded that either his collaborators follow his orders or landowners will never approve of their changes. I mean, I would like to get the landowners off of noble privileges here. We're losing quite a bit of tax income. It is only -1 to their happiness. And I don't want them more popular. I guess we'll just do that. Yeah, there's a story that is an absolutely true story that I forget the time period, but the CIA in the United States wanted to were like researching the intelligence of dolphins and wanted to try to use dolphins as a weapon in war. So had this program where they attached lasers to dolphins and tried to train them to be kind of like soldiers and like be obedient. So they put these lasers on these dolphins, put them in the ocean, sent them on a mission, and the dolphins went AWOL, disappeared. And so then they had these semi-trained dolphins with weapons attached to them, and they couldn't find them. Like, history is stranger than fiction. The intelligentsia have acquired a fascination with Great Britain, regarding it as a model for modernizing the Vietnamese state. Analysis of British laws and technologies fills their publications. Five years of plus 15% tech spread actually would be very beneficial to us. We lose 10% authority, that's fine. We're going to get a pro-country lobby, but I actually could use that tech spread, so we'll do that. Oh, okay, so now we're building... Oh, I forgot we have that interest, too. So we'll take the road maintenance off of here, and we'll... Oh, I forgot we were in the negative. I shouldn't have taken it off. Well, poop on me. We could take... Let's take the encourage the resource industry off. I think we're good with that for now. And then we're getting... Okay, so where are we going to put that interest? I'm thinking, you know, I would really like to get in good with China, but we don't really need an interest there. Because there's already an interest there. Let's look at the world market. Eventually we want to start exporting clothing. Who's importing the most clothing? Spanish. And it's only the British exporting it. So what we're going to do is, let's put an interest in Iberia. When it activates, we'll start increasing our relations. And then maybe we can start getting a good trade advantage with them. India was the main reason why the empire mattered. Without that treasure chest, Britain could never have been able to afford that much ambition. Yeah, that's what I had learned from that documentary, just how, like, lucrative that ended up being for Great Britain and how devastating it was for India. Cyprus, the Falklands, yeah, they're exceptions, yeah. My accent is very central Vietnam, though. People from Hanoi might not understand. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, then, hopefully, by the end of this series, I'll meet somebody and they'll be like, oh, is part of your family from Central Vietnam? And I'll be like, kinda. A little bit. I think you're ignoring Nigeria as the jewel of the... Oh, yeah, the Sahel. Never, never, never. I would never ignore Nigeria. You know, it's funny, Outer Signal. When I was growing up, and I would tell people I was from Algeria, nobody had ever heard of Algeria, so everybody had heard of Nigeria. So they'd always say, "Oh, you're Nigerian?" And I'm like, "No, Algeria." They would just hear Geria, and they would be like, "Oh, Nigeria." Like, nope, it's a completely separate country. Falklands was never habituated when Britain colonized in real life. Argentinian claims are another colonizer wants some lands. Cyprus been civilized for thousands of years by several cultures. Oh, yeah. Fair Peter, right, yeah. Norway found a Russian whale in Northern Sea half a year ago with a collar on it. Oh my god. See, man, like, real life is nuts. Real life is nuts. Especially our governments. Our governments are nuts. All over the world. Although, with some governments, nuts is an understatement. The civil service, currently led by the landowners, are deliberately stalling the government by creating unnecessary paperwork. They demand that their jobs be protected under the appointed bureaucrats' law. Yeah, we're not going to add that amendment and give the landowners political strength. We'll gain a setback, but gain 5% enactment. That's just... Well, we definitely don't want to add this amendment, preserve bureaucratic class. Losing 15%... Losing 15% success chance, but also 20% bureaucracy is a bit much. We're in the second phase and have no setbacks. I'd rather take the setback, gain 5% success chance, and only lose 5% bureaucracy. And this is only until the end of this law enactment. So we'll do that. Lost weaponized dolphins, yeah. Yeah, we're both Gerians after all. Exactly. Gerians unite, my friend. Oh, my internet went off. You're from Algeria. Yes, I am. I was, my dad's side of the family is Algerian. My mom's side is American, so... I was born in Algeria, raised in the United States. So, yeah. Algerian-American, I guess you could say. I'm gonna guess mixing Nigeria and Algeria is like mixing Greece and Sweden. Yeah, exactly. Not... Well, I don't know. I mean, two very different places with two very different cultures, but I think Nigeria and Algeria are more closely related than I think, like, Greece and Sweden would be. Like, in the southern border of Algeria, although they don't, well, we don't necessarily, there's Niger as well, so... Maybe. I don't know, I've never really thought about it, actually. What's funny is how North African, Phoenician, so many countries have become with Carthaginian trade and plutocracy without knowing anything about its origin. Oh, interesting. I don't even know enough about it, really. Now you've given me a topic I gotta look up later today. I like it. I find this interesting now how Springtime, because this is a new global journal entry, Springtime of the Peoples pops up no matter what country you are, even though you're not involved in it. I wish they changed that. I mean, I guess, yeah, I'll just not pin it. Yeah, Carthage was Venice before Venice. You know, now that you mentioned that, there isn't a specific achievement for Venice in the game. I actually thought about trying to play as Venice. I've never done a stream before, though, where you have to start as a larger country and then release the country and start playing. And that's what you would have to do with Venice. Ooh, so the British took Tibet. Very interesting. British Tibet. All right, we have mandatory service. So where are we now? We're doing urban planning. They're going to go either paddle steamer or line infantry next. Ah, we got cotton gin. So now it's going to go lathe. I think so. Yeah. So now we're getting tech spread on lathe. I think we'll leave lathe here because we really want to get to the atmospheric engine, because we're going to have urban planning and we're going to want to switch to iron frame buildings. I generally like to use tech spread as like a separate research queue and not actively research what's being actively spread. But when you do that, you do get the tech quicker. But we really need to get to the Atmo engine. So we're going to do that. We have time, but we're going to build these. The next thing we'll do in the build queue, we're going to need about 5 iron mines and then like a coal mine. So we'll get to that in order to switch to iron frame buildings. Lawmakers working towards the enactment of appointed bureaucrats have found themselves mired in a particularly complex set of bureaucratic proceedings, grinding the work towards reform to a near halt. Man, we're really... I don't know if we can take any more bureaucracy hits here. Yeah, we're going to do this one. I would agree, Ham. Northern Sahel versus Southern Sahel. Some overlap with nomadic tribes. Though definitely some big differences, though. Yeah, it's like... I mean, yeah, it's like 2 different places. Though again, yeah, probably more similar than, like differences in... than, like... I think in Europe, there's a lot of cultural differences that I think sometimes people not from Europe don't really realize. So I mean, like, people here in the US, you know, people say like, oh, they're European. It's like, it depends, you know? There's many different cultures there. So probably Algeria and Nigeria are like more similar than like 2 countries on opposite sides of Europe. It's an interesting thing to examine. It's funny how Venice suddenly stops existing in the map as the isle it is once Victoria 3 comes. Yeah, like in EU5, it's such a massive and important place. And then here it's just another state owned by Austria. Yeah, that Venice achievement sounds like hell to get. I know. And it's not even listed, I think, isn't it listed as medium? I think it's under the medium list. Some of those medium achievements, I'm like, these are not a medium difficulty. Oh, you know, so now that we're going to get a ton opium... Well, I don't want to do a subvention. We don't have the money for that. What are we subsidizing? Oh, logging... We don't need to subsidize that logging camp anymore. We'll take that off. So the port. Do we still need to subsidize the port, though? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we need a shipyard. God, there's so much we need to build. Okay, we have urban planning. There's so much we need to build. Let alone west, south, north, east, etc. Yeah, everywhere, every direction. To outside observers, the intelligentsia may appear firmly committed to the idea of appointed bureaucrats, but behind this facade of unity, discord has long festered. Now a clique of dissenters have finally had enough, and have officially broken with their fellow members over the issue of reform. Yeah, losing 15% enactment success chance right now is tough. I don't want to add 300 government expenses because we're kind of teetering on the edge here. But I also don't want to go to 2 setbacks. I guess we'll gain 5% enactment success chance. Yeah, let's do it. We'll see what happens. Hey, Wanamancer, hello, hello. Welcome, my friend. How you doing? Good to see you, good to see you. How's it going? Speaking of culture, how well does Vicky model the North-South Vietnam split? South Vietnam should be similar to Cambodia and North with China. Let's see. Yeah, so they just have Vietnamese. See, that's the thing. You kind of need to get a specific DLC to get a distinction like that. Like now, the Philippines really differentiates all those cultures. The primary is Spanish, but there's like, I think 4 or 5 different Philippine cultures now because of the Iberian Twilight DLC. I think until there's some type of... Like, I bet if there was a Great Qing DLC, you would end up getting content for all of Southeast Asia, and then get a distinction like that. But for now, it's just Vietnamese. But then you do have, yeah, the shared tradition traits here that all of these guys will share. Yeah, agreed. Often similar with Africa. Yeah. It's humbling visiting the Mediterranean and the old civilization ruins. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of the old Roman ruins in Algeria. And they don't utilize the tourism. You just can, like, just walk up to it. It's kind of crazy. Can we do anything else here? I hate doing knowledge sharing. I don't want to lose 10% tech spread. Oh, we can exempt them from service. Thought I had already done that. Oh, there we go. Alright. You might be able to somewhat cheese it early game, but when the US, Germany, and Great Britain build up their trade empires, how are you supposed to compete? Yeah. Yeah, it's true. If you're not one of the great powers and you're trying to, like, build up, let's say, like, a steel industry, like, forget about it. You're never going to get that prestige steel. And I don't mean, I shouldn't say never, but it's going to be difficult and painful. Can't believe you made it. Yeah, I'm so glad you made it. What's sad, I won't be able to make it, but unfortunately, oh, my prof got sick. Oh, so class is canceled. Yes. Yes. A+ to the prof getting sick. Because now you get to join us. Good, good, good. Culture and religion in Vicky 3 are only numbers, more or less friendly to you. No mechanics or events, really. Well, I don't know about that. After National Awakening, you now have all of the cultural fervor stuff. So, like, yeah, our fervor is pretty low right now, but, like, once your primary culture gets its National Awakening, it does become quite a bit difficult to get to things like cultural exclusion and multiculturalism. You start to really get, like, this Vietnamese supremacist movement will really get a lot of support and activism once you get your primary culture's national awakening. And then this thing of obstinance can really cut into your money and everything. So I think after National, it used to just be numbers. I think National Awakening did a little bit. Not fully, but it made it a little bit more dynamic in that sense. What was meant as a routine speech about the merits of appointed bureaucrats by Chong Chuang has quietly devolved into a public relations disaster for the intelligentsia. Yeah, you're gonna lose some popularity. I'm good with that. All right, we are at the 2-hour mark, so we're going to take a quick 90-second break and let the ads play. Pay homage to our gods of ads. So 90 seconds, and we will be right back. All right, and we're back, and we're back. All right, what did I miss? What did I miss? Turns out negative 20 degrees Celsius does wonders for your health. Eee. Sounds like Frostpunk. You have Prof. Ham now and said, yeah, that's right. Professor Ham. Professor Ham is in session. My conspiracy theory side tells me Europe gets put all together as a culture more often these days because there's more push for European integration. Oh, this day. So differences are de-emphasized. Who knows? Oh, that's actually a great point, right? Like a European government, I guess you would say. Oh, we only have -1 Celsius here at the moment. Snow thawed away mostly. Oh boy. Yeah, we got, actually here in New York, we got snow all weekend. It was very surprising. Although Saturday was just all disgusting slush. But Sunday, actually, it looked nice. All right, let's unpause. Ah, yes, the tried and tested solution for your country to be properly represented in a Paradox game. Yeah, wait for the DLC for it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which is why we need more DLC. Give us the announcement. Pretty sure it has been, like, at least over 100 years since the Southern March, so Champa is still kind of a lot of people. So kind of there, I guess. Maybe, maybe. Oh, build in your subject. Actually, you know, you make a great point there. That would help us with this and that economic dependence. What do they have? Yeah. We could build there. I think maybe, for right now, we're kind of okay. Oh, or maybe not. Yeah. Well, what I want, though, I want to get this industry going, and I think what I really want to do before this episode is done is to get us switched over to iron frame buildings. So we're gonna, and we can make the switch now. So we can start building all of the iron mines. So we're gonna build one more of these. We'll build 5, and then we'll get the coal mine in there because we might have the Atmo engine by then. So once we get down to, like... Once we finish the 3rd iron mine, then I think we'll switch over, get the extra construction points, and then get everything else built. Although, actually, okay, one thing we really need to do, though, is tackle the bureaucracy problem here. And we're not... Actually, hold on. Before we build those... If we built... just one... Yeah, okay, hold on. Instead of building all these... where do we have them all at the moment? In Baki. We're going to build a paper mill. And then, so just one paper mill instead of all of those government admins, we can switch to the next thing. And we're going to do that sooner rather than later, so that we can switch this. Because we're about to go into debt, and we absolutely cannot go into debt. While as a realistic game simulates life, it's not fair in the sense if you're not at the top player is going to generally always be ahead of you. Yeah, unless something drastic happens. But this is still a game. I know what you mean. It's kind of the uphill battle. Though, why I love playing as small nations. National Awakening made using subjects for culture a lot more viable. This is true. Before that, diversity wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah, this is so true. Germany. Oh, Sweden, yeah. I love how weird Vietnamese name becomes because intonation in Vietnamese is not in the game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about that before. My my resident Vietnamese tutor here, MW, I was talking about that, how it's a tonal language, so the tone really matters. How's it sound to you then? Can't tell, there's like a dozen ways that name could actually be. Without the marks, it's impossible to tell. Oh, interesting. So gibberish, kind of, there's no such thing as an oong in common Vietnamese. Like, technically, it's pronounceable, but yeah, it's kind of gibberish. Interesting. Just that name. If you put marks on, you can get a lot of different possibilities. It could be Truong, school, long-lasting. Truong, chief, Truong, part of the name naked. Oh, wow. Oh my god. Interesting. It's gonna make for an interesting audio on my stream then, as I try to pronounce everything. Been playing Persia in Vicky 3 during stream, which begs the question, how much more menacing would Iran have been if they took the greater Khorasan lands in the Victoria 3 journal opportunity? Sheesh. Yeah, I know exactly what I've been doing. I'm actively doing a Persia run offline right now. Because I really wanted to get the Great Game objective, and I refused to do it with Russia or Great Britain. And so I finally just got it with Persia. And so now I'm continuing the Persia run, because I want to get that new Iberian Twilight achievement. Where is it? Oh, whatever, I don't need... Oh, yeah, this one. Has any Muslim country convert Spain to Islam? So I have a religious convocation power block, so now I just need to break Spain apart so I can get them in my power block and convert them. Our efforts to pass the appointed bureaucrats law have run into several classic bureaucratic hurdles. Debates rage around such lofty matters as the correct shape of filing cabinets. We'll lose 10% bureaucracy. We actually can afford to lose a little bit, because once we get the paper mill done, we're going to gain 150 bureaucracy. So that actually won't be too bad. Yeah, we'll do that. So yeah, so we're at 80. We're going to get plus 150 once this is done. Yeah, Persia's fun. Yeah, Persia's a lot of fun. Represent. Yeah, complicated language like Chinese. Play as a benevolent Shah, or malicious if that's your vibe. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to be the benevolent Shah. Why not simplified like the Hangul? Not really. It's an alphabetical language, and there's like 5 marks, so we learn how to combine and pronounce everything in like 1 year. Oh my god. I guess you could kind of say there's something similar in English when you have like you just kind of have to learn like which letters are silent when like what's an example like in English where you have 2 letters together that make a certain sound in one word, but the same 2 letters in another word will make a different sound. I know there are some. I can't think of an example off the top of my head though. Andalusa, yeah, welcome back, Habibi's. That's right. I'm gonna try it. The language are not phonetic, right? Nice. I think I may make the theme of the Persia run freeing India from the British Empire. Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's a tough one, but very, very satisfying when you do it. That's what I did to get the hegemony objective when I was doing a Germany run. One of the first things I did was I didn't break India free, or I guess the Raj. I just transferred them as my subject. But that helped. Are you Vietnamese? Want to answer? I immigrated. Still learning. Horrible train accident in Andalusia the other day. Oh, 2 trains. Whoa. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look that up. I tend not to. I watch the morning news during the week. On the weekend, I don't. I try to be a little news free on the weekend, unless something major really happens. I mean, that's major, but I don't know. I don't really know if it made the national news in the U.S. yet, or maybe it did, and I just had my head in the sand. Yes, I'm Vietnamese. Currently studying abroad in Canada. Went here to escape. Oh my god, being oofed by China. Now I get to worry about being oofed with the U.S. instead. Apologies, my friend. Apologies. Well, we seem to have shifted our gaze from Canada to Greenland for some strange reason. That's Pinyin, but Southeast Asia. The King's heir, Win Phuc Tong, has caused a scandal by declaring his love, for young Thai woman. Yeah, this one. Okay. Yeah, I generally always want to take this one. Make him an enlightened royalist, so we'll do that. An internal investigation has discovered that a government official revived many... Let's take that again. An internal investigation has discovered that a government official received many gifts from Bu Lan Buyan on behalf of the Vietnamese Qing Fellowship. Ooh, we could use more loyalists right now, actually. We gained 5 legitimacy. I don't... But yeah, we're kind of good on that. Let's take the loyalists. Oh, man. Okay. Gonna have to raise taxes until we get this paper mill built. We gotta get this done. Oh man, we've hit... Alright, we're gonna do this temporarily. Temporarily. Because, yeah, we got negative 65, or plus 65% tax waste. We just got to get this done. So we're going to keep this awful budget for just 18 weeks. I've heard some linguist friends suggest English is becoming more tonal over time. Oh, interesting. As a German, your TH is not the easiest. Yeah. Oh man, come on, come on. What do you mean by phonetic? If you mean you can read it without knowing the word, then yes. As long as you have learned the basic combination and what those combinations sound like, you can read every word. 40 plus casualties, 2 high-speed trains. Oh my lord, oh my lord. That's awful. I mean, didn't he unveil a map recently that includes Canada and Greenland in the US? Did he? It's hard to keep up with all the nonsense that spouts out. It's... I mean, I think that is actually the tactic. Just bombard everybody with an insane amount of nonsense, and nobody can keep up with it. I think that's legitimately what he's going for. So he probably has. I found it hard to understand English as a language because how so many non-phonetic pronunciations. Yeah, it's understandable because English is a combined effort of Germanic, Latin, and France. Yeah. Yeah, it's like... There are things as like an English speaker that I just kind of naturally know, but can objectively be like, yeah, there's no way to know this unless you just know the language. That's why it is a very difficult language. Yes. And I tend to think Canada is begging for it with their rhetoric. Oh, really? What rhetoric? I think there was, like, the new Prime Minister is giving some pushback, but I kind of like that. Somebody needs to push back on this guy and on the administration. All right, law debate success. We're hanging on by a thread there. There's one trend with Trump's handlers. State ambition. Yeah. Oil. Yeah, exactly. Mr. America first, and we're going to isolate ourselves from the rest of the world. Suddenly he saw some oil money. Everything goes out the window. We only have 3 months left on the lobby opportunity. We'll see if anything has changed at all with them. No. And there's nothing else they want from us, so we're not going to be able to do it. Oh, okay, let's slow down for a second. So, we got our paper mill. We don't... Okay. Let's get a logging camp here. I didn't realize we didn't have any logging there, so we'll keep this budget for just 20 more weeks. We had the same in Austria. Someone actually said they used strategic necessary nonsense to keep the media occupied, yeah, while they did their thing in the background regarding Trump. Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I think part of it right now is the release of the Epstein files. Everybody is so preoccupied with other stuff, they're not focusing on the fact that the Justice Department here in the US is violating the law because they haven't released everything. And I do think some of this stuff... I mean, I think Trump also genuinely wants that oil in Venezuela so that he can profit off of it. But a lot of this stuff, I think, is to distract from that, and it's been working. Canada's PM saying he's going to court China. Oh, it was a very dumb say. Oh, you see, I haven't heard that one yet. But yeah. Woo! Look at that. Plus 25% taxation capacity. Truly helped us in that one. Ooh, although... Yeah. We have a lot of bureaucracy hit now. Oh, no, never mind. That was nice. But it didn't last long. The armed forces suggest a more hardline foreign policy towards Siam due to their poor relations. Yeah, we'll keep them happy. Anti-Siamese League. I'll take that. You know, the fall of the Roman Republic is almost the same as the current America. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Alright. Within 3 weeks, we're done with the logging camp. So we're gonna switch right now. Alright. That makes the budget a little bit better here. We can lower taxes back to a more manageable amount. Alright, there we go. So we're only about 18k in debt. So we didn't go too much. Ah, the anti-French society, fine, whatever. I think I've said this before, but it will never not be hilarious to me that our entire Canadian politics class thought the Conservative is going to win in a landslide, and then Trump comes in. That's interesting. I remember that guy for the Canadian election. They thought that guy was going to win in a landslide. Wow. I mean, he was a viable candidate, but yeah, I think Trump really damaged that. Corrupt institution and failed balance against the president. Yeah. Yeah, there's no we're basically a single party state right now. The opposition party puts up no opposition. Ah, what's going on here? They're going to protectorate Siam. How do we feel? Well, nobody wants us involved in this. Ooh, we're about to have France right on our doorstep. Why won't you guys be friendly to us? I guess because you want to take us over. Well, I guess we could get in good with the British then. What would it take to get a guarantee independence from you guys? Yeah, we don't have enough. We gotta strengthen our military a little bit. Hey, Itman, hi, Mod. Hello. Vicky3 and Dai Nam. Dai Nam kind of hard to change the law about health. Oh, about healthy. Yeah. Yeah, we haven't even tackled that one yet. We're still early on. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, we gotta do that one. Oh, actually, we can change. Good thing you said that. So what are we changing next here? We have nobody. We have no... Oh, well, hold on here. We really want to get off of traditionalism. So the only way we're really going to do it is with agrarianism. So there we go. We'll do this. And let's go for it. See what happens. And we'll do a negotiate with the armed forces. Despite ungentlemanly comments, raised voices, and the shaking of fists, the armed forces have admitted to several compromises that would change their perception of agrarianism. Yeah, we can't be losing that bureaucracy right now. And we're not going to be able to do this standard of living in time, so I guess we'll have political concessions. I don't mind it that much. Alright, let's give it a try. Oh, hey! Owl, hello. I'm back, but internet currently is bad. Also, unis, I won't let you neglect high education. Haha, nice. Glad to have you back, though. About pushing back on Trump. It's not easy for anyone. Too much trade, yeah, and production chains are tied to the U.S., and no one is ready to bet political career by radicalizing population by creating crisis. Yeah, it's true. That's kind of the problem. That being said, history is not kind with the way the U.S. is going. Greenland might be the end of American supremacy. I fear that, too. Well, not the end of American supremacy, but I fear that Greenland will be the end of, like... Greenland will be the end of NATO. And I do believe NATO has provided a bit of stability to the world in regards to, like, Russia, China on one side, the US and Europe on the other. I think with Russia encroaching in on Ukraine, and that the end of NATO would be like, I think something that would overburden the European countries, and that's kind of scary. Yeah, Greenland will be a divorce problem between the US and EU. Yeah. I've said this before. Here's one thing I'm kind of hoping for, is that the powers that be in the US military, I think, want NATO to exist. I feel like if Trump tries to really encroach in on Greenland, there will be much more behind the scenes pushback with the military, where unfortunately I don't think they care about countries like Venezuela, Colombia, Cuba, Mexico, unfortunately. But that's why there's not as much pushback on that. But you threaten NATO, now I think there might be much more of a pushback. All right. As much as I would love to do these textile mills, I kind of feel like we need to up the amount of construction we're doing here. So we'll finish these, and then we'll go for these to switch to iron frame buildings first. And we'll also build... Well, I won't put the dye plantation yet. You know what? Let's take these out of the queue. Because if the private sector wants to build them, I want them to build them. Now wait, once again, what are they doing here? Oh, Burma. They're going after Burma. Man. You know, we really need to get to these Burma backs down. I think we can hold off on water tube boiler for a moment. How are we on infrastructure? Oh, we got tons there. You know, We've got quite a bit. I think we're going to redo our queue here. We do still want the atmospheric engine. As much as we really want railways, we need to be able to get to line infantry here. We need to get to general staff and field works. We're going to get line infantry soon. Where do we have the most of our barracks? We have 15 there, 20 there, 15 here. Oh yeah, but we don't have iron here. Alright, so we'll build arms industry, artillery foundry here. We'll expand these because we're going to have to switch to hardwood production. It'll cut into our construction sector's wood output. So we'll do this. Can't wait for the Hearts of Iron 7 achievement. We have to conquer the USA's Greenland. Yeah, that's true. That's totally something Paradox would do. Yeah, I don't want to live in interesting times anymore, right? God, remember when we were kids, politics was just kind of boring? Like, what happened to those times? Can I get off of Mr. Trump's wild ride? Oh my god, it's been like 10 years now. If the right 3 people in the military say, sorry, no, I think that would calm a lot of people around the world. Yeah, 3 is a random number, but just some powerful voices. I think you're absolutely right, Super Frank. I think even, yeah, just like 3 very high-ranking generals. Kind of like, so what happened with Trump threatening legal action against the Treasury Secretary, and then all these people coming out and be like, no, you're not going to touch this guy. You're not doing that. If some very high-ranking military officials came out and said, no, we're not going after Greenland, and then Trump threatened something against them, and suddenly everybody was like, no, you're not threatening those people. We're backing them. I think that would make the whole world a little bit more at ease. I wish it was going to get better, but between Macron in the EU and Trump, the world is... Yeah, hands to some serious basket cases. Yeah, and don't forget Putin as well. And now I order a book talk about 13 Days of Cuban Missile Crisis. Yeah, just some light reading to ease the nerves, right? If only the opposition is anything more than a bunch of chicken fingers, that'd be great. I have been yelling that to no end. They're not even chicken fingers. They don't exist. The opposition in our country here just doesn't exist at the moment, at least politically. All right, we got the opium trade. Production at the opium plantations is booming, and foreign demand for opium could hardly be higher. The English people of Great Britain have become so enamored with the stuff that it is all but become the national pastime. Yeah, let's get that trade advantage. We also really need more trade centers. We also need to get a shipyard built. Did anyone ever buy this damn tooling? The local workforce did. Wonderful. It's not what I wanted. You think the U.S. military and military industrial complex has so much political power in Vic 3 terms from U.S. NATO membership? Yeah. I'm curious if we still see a military coup in the U.S. I doubt it anyway. I don't think so. I don't think there would be a military coup. I think there could be... I think there's going to be a very serious problem when we reach the end of Trump's term. He's going to try to push for a 3rd term. And that is something that's going to be a breaking point. And we might see some real political action like we saw on January 6th if something like that happens. I don't think we would see a military coup, to be honest with you. Although, who knows? If he really pushes for Greenland and Europe really amps up their military and there really is going to be an actual war to start, I mean, that is a very scary situation, but maybe, who knows? Criminal organizations have begun operating in Baki. Not something I hope for. We'll take the hit to authority on that one. Alright, so we need to get through this tooling workshop and then get through 3 iron mines, and then we're going to switch to iron frame buildings, and then we'll use the additional construction points to get through the rest of the iron mines. And we're hoping next we'll do arms and artillery, because by that point we should have line infantry. We're getting tech spread on line infantry, so yeah, we're already 93% of the way there. We'll probably have line infantry before we have the Atmo engine. Actually, you know, we're going to need more iron after we build these things. What we're going to do is we're going to build a coal mine right before we build these, so that we can get more iron out of those mines. Oh, you mean this attempt, yeah, to prosecute the head of the Federal Reserve? Yeah. Yeah, that was met with, I think, that was met with much more backlash than I think he was anticipating. It was a very good sign for me to see that there's some lines that people are like, no, you're not going to do that. Taking an interest in the newly opening Vietnamese economy, French Republic has proposed a trade agreement that seems initially equitable. On closer inspection, it contains numerous unfavorable clauses that were never agreed upon. Well, this option sucks. We'll get a setback, but we'll get nothing for it. Well, improving relations with France right now, I think, would be beneficial. We'll owe them an obligation, but... I mean, I don't want to start war with France anyway, so... I think we'll do that. Why can't we increase relations? Oh! I bet, yeah, we don't have an interest there. Yeah, let's get rid of the interest in Iberia, put it in France. Let's start improving relations. Although, wait, though. Hold on, that shouldn't be the issue. Oh, yeah, no, they're still doing that. Yeah. So we might not need to have that interest there forever, but let's start doing it now. We just elected Mr. Burns in Germany. Oh no. Unfortunately, Hegseth is one of those psychos that wants everyone to know his name. Yeah. Yeah. That's also an unfortunate, very true point. That guy just does not understand the, like, consequences of the actions he can take. In the 70s, we had never-ending Indochina War, Nixon and Watergate in Europe. There were terrorists in Germany, junta in Greece and Spain, the troubles in Northern Ireland. It was way worse. This is a good point, right? That's true. There's been tumultuous times before. And we survived through it. So hopefully, that's also the case here. Yeah, and there was a Great Wall dividing Germany and the Communist threat was real, both in the US and the EU, yeah. I'm still waiting for Japan and their true acknowledgement of World War II. Iron frame building with 14 construction points, that's earlier than I ever switched. Yeah, yeah. I think that... Oh, hold on, let's start... See, the thing is, as long as... Wait, what? Why can't we... Why can't we do... Why can't we improve relations? Alright, so we have line infantry. So they're damaging relations. That's very strange. I have no idea. Yeah, obligations are not that ridiculously powerful anymore compared to GameStart. Yeah. Their main benefit now is just having a way to guarantee countries can't fight you in a war. I don't know why we can't improve relations with France. Oh, hey, Federico. Hello, hello. Hey, bro, do you play with any mods? Do you recommend Morgan wrote? Greetings from Argentina. Hey, nice to meet you. Hello, hello. I don't play with mods. I do like to just play on the base game in that sense. But I highly recommend Morgan wrote. So sometimes in between runs, especially when we're waiting for a DLC to come out, I'll do a single episode series called... mod cuts. And so I actually have a 2-part episode series where we played with Morgan wrote, and it's fantastic. That is a fantastic mod. It adds so much more to the game. Maybe even a little too much. It's hard to track sometimes. But if you're going to play with a mod, that is definitely a good one to do. But I generally like to not add mods in too much. I'm not a big mod player, but if I was going to recommend one, I would definitely recommend that one. Unfavorable treaty only gives you benefits. This game maybe needs more words to make the mechanics reflect what the text says. Maybe, yeah. Wood frame buildings performs way better this patch? Interesting. Interesting, yeah. See, I just want more construction points. That's like the main thing I want here, so that it's taken us quite a while to get through our build queues. Law progressed to adoption. See, the other thing is we need more construction points so that right now we're at the 75-25 split with the private queue. Once we get agrarianism, if we get it, it's going to be a 50-50 split. As it stands right now, we would only have 7 construction points for the government queue. And anything below the initial 10 is just like painstakingly slow. So we really want to... Main reason, too, why we want to switch to iron frame buildings is so that we can get off of traditionalism and still be able to, like, to build. Honestly, you know, I'm tempted to... These 3 will build much quicker than this, right? Like 37 weeks for that, 24 weeks for this. Yeah. Let's build these 3. We'll switch. We'll finish the tooling workshop, and then we'll get those other 2. I think it's going to be a couple checkpoints, though, before agrarianism finishes. Did France expel your diplomats or something? Yeah, I don't know. That's what I was wondering. Was it something like that? Yeah, like they haven't declared a rivalry. I don't know. It's very strange to me. If you use the diplomatic lens, go on diplomatic actions, use improved relations. Oh, and hover... Oh, good. Yeah, great point, great point. colonization. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you, Super Frank. You're absolutely right. Improve relations. There we go. Oh, yeah, there it was. It is the expelled diplomats. They expelled our diplomats. You know, they should really show that on here. Which means they're ramping up to come take us. So we need to improve our military. Now, the other problem is, though, you know, if we switch to 50 line infantry, that's going to cost us a lot of money. Good thing we're going to have a full treasury. Let's see, even that almost start nuclear war, Cuban Missile Crisis, the Petrov, yeah. Accident checkpoint, Charlie. Arkhipov not launching the nuke, and the Serbia airport standoff. Yeah, we survived worse. Yeah, this is true, right? There are many events that almost led to nuclear war, but the closest U.S. ever have during Cuban Missile Crisis, since it already touched DEFCON 3, the other time it ever happened. Yeah. Millennials complaining about today's situation should ask older generations. Yeah. Like in the U.S. here. And I don't know if this is the same around the world, but back during like the Cuban Missile Crisis, when you were in school and had to do the drills for nuclear blasts and hide under your desk. Although, as it stands now, you know, my kids have to do active shooter drills in their classes, which is just a insanely disappointing thing. Let's not forget, U.S. still have the Trident 3 and Russia have Iskander, both filled with 14 nuclear warheads and 30 times stronger than Fat Man and Little Boy. Is this the only stream besides Friday this week? Yes, it is. Unfortunately, I'm going to be out of town for most of the week. So, unfortunately, this is going to be the only session today. I won't be able to do any EU5 on Thursday, so the next stream after today will be Friday night with some more Anno 117. How dare you touch grass? I know, right? Well, the unfortunate thing is I'm not even going to be really touching grass. It'll still be all pavement and sidewalk. Older generations didn't have DARPA's war chest, bioweapons, nukes, robots, and AI threatening to reshape reality itself. This is also a very good point. Hide and cover. Didn't they do that in the Fallout series? I think South Park also has it in one of the early episodes. Yeah, the hide and cover thing. I'm not even old enough for that. That was before my time, but I know quite a bit about it. Darn, well, stay safe. I'll see you on Friday. Okay, yeah. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Connie. I'll see you on Friday for some Anno. Next week, we'll be back to a full schedule. What's our one unpinned thing? Oh, yeah. The voting laws. Alright. We're almost there. A statue of King Win Fukdam was commissioned, and it has been suggested that it be displayed proudly in Baki. Raising our prestige a little bit will help us with our subject. But I would rather not take more radicals at this point in time. And the Confucian scholars are marginalized, so there's really no consequence to this, so we'll take that. Wait, why do we... Where do we have a demand for this? What barracks? Oh. They have it? Come on, you guys. Yeah, I should build something here, too. There's just too much to build. Alright, we're gonna have to do knowledge sharing. Hurt our tech spread. We're gonna have a wonderful book club meeting to scare everyone that humanity is doomed with nuclear threat. Yeah, as you do in book club. Spread the threat of nuclear war and drink your Chardonnay. The limited political resources of the intelligentsia have made the group's leadership question its membership in both the Anti-Siamese League and the Vietnamese British Society. Oh, we're getting an earthquake. Always throws me off. Whenever you hear that sound now. Where did we get it? Oh, we heard the sound. We didn't get any pop-ups about it. I wonder why. Alright, which one do we want them to leave? Honestly, stay in the Vietnamese British Society. We might need to lean into the British to help us against the French. Probably the scariest thing is, even after all that, there's a prospect of 24/7 fighting with people and robots in full deployment. Good luck sleeping. Yeah, it's gonna turn into Terminator, right? Who would have thought we would have actually seen that in real life? Oh good, a livestock ranch in Nam-Ke. That's actually a good place for it, and will eventually help us with this. Let's do that. Why are we exporting? Don't export it. Our people need it. That's why I'm tired of the culture war, because it's nothing compared to uranium winter. By the way, the biggest nuclear weapon that ever exploded, Tsar Bomba, the only nuclear bomb, a blast shockwave reached the Nordic. That's only half of the planned warhead. Wow. Of course, things got to be scary like that. All right, good. So we got this. It didn't pass yet, which is actually kind of good because we can. Yeah. So we have no demand for this yet. Once we get maybe halfway through this one, we'll subsidize it so that they hire up, and then we'll switch. So that we don't have that period of time where we're going to lose a bunch of money while they hire. Are these societies useful? I don't really get how to make use of them. They are to a little bit, right? So the thing that they help you with is, let's take like the Vietnamese British Society. Or actually, let's take, yeah. Let's take like the Anti-French Society. So you can make interest groups happy by appeasing the lobby. So like, let's say we know we're going to be battling the French a little bit, right? Now, we also want to enact laws that the landowners don't like, which is going to make them upset. We can do things like, let's rival, I mean, not France because they're so much bigger than us, but in general, let's declare a rivalry. That gives one appeasement, so they get +1 happiness. So we can get interest groups to be happy, which will negate the amount of stall chance they're going to add to the law passings that we're going to do that are going to piss them off. The other thing they do, too, is the more lobby clout a pro-lobby has, the easier it is to get like treaties and stuff. So if we had more powerful interest groups in this lobby and their lobby clout was like, let's say the Vietnamese British Society had this type of clout, it would be a little bit easier to get treaty articles done, because this will add to the happiness that the country has with us. So they're helpful in that. And then sometimes they do give you those benefits of like, you know, you can get foreign investment rights with this country, you can get trade rights with this country, and basically it adds I don't know what you call them in the treaty portion, like the yes points, whatever you want to call it, the acceptance points. So they'll help you with that as well. So that's their main function. Claiming that the enactment of agrarianism would affect the countries to high inhabitants in a disproportionately negative way, to high firebrands have riled their communities against the current law proposal. Man, we'll take this. Lose a little bit of bureaucracy on it. Oh, I didn't know the cloud helped with treaties things. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is. It's like one of those little things in the game that kind of flies under the radar a little bit. So Atmo engine, and then we're gonna get army reserves. What are we doing on military tech spread? Oh, good. They're gonna do paddle steamer. I don't know why I hate having to research that myself. But it doesn't mean I'm against nuclear as energy power, since it's more reasonable than gas or coal. Yeah, this is true. I'm all for nuke, like submarine, that can transport people, nuclear reactor, but given the current, we're in nuclear use for oofing each other. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like all things, there's a use for it. Just unfortunately, we're using it for the wrong stuff. Alright, good. So this is going down. Alright, we almost have a full reserve. So, I wonder, can we take... Yeah. We can take that off. So help us with the enactment chance a little bit. Humanity has this tendency to take, good things and use it for evil. Exactly. Like, look at all the, like, robotic stuff. My wife and I were just watching something this weekend about that big expo that happened, and they're showing off all these robots they made. And it's like, they made this, like, little robot that you can, like, spar with and box with. And then, like, another creepy robot that can talk to you. And I'm like, the robot that, like, you can spar with, how about a robot that will just come and clean your house and fold your laundry? A robot that could fold laundry would be a lifesaver, but instead we're making BS stuff like, hey, look, you can punch it and it'll get back up and walk back to you. What use is that? It's just, we take things, we either make it for an atrocious... We take technology and we now make it for, like, an atrocious thing or a frivolous thing. Nothing is ever useful anymore. A mine in Trunki has collapsed, trapping miners within the dark shafts below. The scale of the accident has made the tragedy a story across Trunki and the nation. Yeah, I don't want more radicals though. So radicalizing the 5% of the upper strata is best. So we'll do that. Uranium mining and nuclear waste management is complicated stuff. This is true, yeah. Also, submarines plan to be built for commercial use before it's militarized. Yeah. Ah, we got agrarianism. Alright. Yeah, please, robot, come wipe the dust. I would love it. I would love it. Yeah, yeah, men will do anything before paying employees $2 more. That is the current state of the rich class in the world right now. That can be recycled, though, and it's a lot cheaper than yearly coal CO2 problem. Not to mention, after Chernobyl, there's strict rule to nuclear reactor. Yeah, this is true, too. All right. Man, we got it like a second too early. All right, well, I think we can switch over now. We've got 2 coal mines, or iron mines. We'll get the 3rd. And then we'll do the coal. Oh, and then what should we be passing now? What should we be passing now? Let's move to... I don't think we're quite ready to take on slavery. I would love to get off the guild system, actually. Like, even to get on combination acts would be nice. Yeah, we really need industrialists. Can't do that yet. There's nothing really. Yeah, we can't do anything there. You think most countries starting with... Oh, there we go. Atmospheric engine. Nice. You think most countries starting with law of assembly should be reworked because I doubt you can make a The King Sucks reunion without problems at those times. Yeah, I found that interesting too, that we start with a right of assembly. I wonder what the historical context for that was in this one. Rance just went for Siam. Chuckles, I'm in danger. Oh no. Oh yeah, what ended up happening with that? Yeah, they're still going. They're still fighting that one. This conversation kind of reminded me of the Gundam universe where a rebel government drops a colony to Australia. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Alright, so... You know, we might not... Oh, no, that's right. We do need the extra iron mines, though, because of the arms and artillery we're going to be building. Oh, yeah, the food and paper. Let's sell this. Oh, well, actually, no, let's not sell it yet, because we got a full reserve. We'll wait on that. For context, a colony in Gundam is about 20 times larger than current ISS. Oh, and the blast leaves Australia than current... oh, with huge crater in the middle and wipe out Sydney in the process. Yeah, I don't know what the Gundam universe is. Try to ban slavery? Yeah, see, I don't know. We could try. I don't know if we're quite ready for that yet. You know, maybe we do, right? We don't... No, we do... yeah, we do have a pro-slavery movement. Problem is, we don't have an abolitionist movement. Well, let's start suppressing the pro-slavery movement anyway, because we're going to want to do that eventually. We really can only get one person in here. What about if we wanted to go to migration controls? Oh, we could go for that. If we put the petite bourgeoisie in government, let's try that. Open up our borders a little bit. After several rounds of terse correspondence, the armed forces have met with the king's representatives and outlined their demands. Yeah, so we don't want to lose bureaucracy. Now this, build 2 artillery foundries, that we can do. So we'll do that. And then the stall chance is only 5. We don't really need to negotiate to lower it by 10. So we're actually in a pretty good place with this. So we'll continue this. Hey, Java, what's up? What's up? How are you? How are you? I'm late, but I'm here. Yeah, we're finishing up in a couple minutes here. There's just one last thing I want to try to get before we finish up. Gundam is transformer with human riding robot. Oh, and lots of politics and question about war, and the main protagonist is a child soldier riding a $1 trillion robot to end the war. Oh my god. I'll have to look that up. It sounds epically epic. Yeah, we only have +5 here. We'll finish this. We'll finish the coal mine. Well, actually, we'll finish this. If we switch this over, it'd be 85. I think once we finish the coal mine, we can switch over. And sure, we'll make 2 of those. Actually, maybe we'll leave it at the end, because we're going to need this stuff anyway. NATO's finished, I think. The entire situation's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? We were just talking about it before. I mean, we're holding out hope that members of the high-ranking members of the U.S. military won't allow it to happen. You see, we have we have no financial districts. Okay, we got one here. What do they own? Yeah. Law progressive consideration. That's nice. Alright. Here we go. We're about to get our next iron mine. Chongmin Nongkao, the ever-officious leader of the landowners, has approached the government with a plan to enact local police force. A successful enactment is certain to contribute to his reputation as an effective politician. So we'll get -5 legitimacy. I'm kind of okay with that. We don't want to enact that. Alright. We got the iron mine. So we now have +48. Oh, here we go. Through the widespread introduction of the atmospheric engine in the mining industry, productivity is at an all-time high. I should take the thing with water tube boiler. This +33% iron mine throughput would be very helpful right now. I always say take the tech. That's what I always say, and it's what you should do. But I could really use that extra iron right about now. But no, I'm not going to do it. We'll take the tech. Yeah, I think actually we have the money to switch over right now. Law progressive. Yeah, that's what we're going to do, because now we should get... Alright, so yeah, that bumped us up. We'll be able to get this coal mine much quicker. We don't need to subsidize this anymore. Although, yeah, we have a problem with the tooling. But we did switch to iron frame buildings by the end of the first episode here, which is nice. So, yeah. I think we're at the stopping point for right now, unfortunately. Off to a good start, I think. 18 construction points. We can now get through this fairly well. We do have some problems on the horizon, though, with France. But you know, we'll be able to hold them off, hopefully. But I think it's a good start. We got the beginnings of our economy working here. So that's going to be it for today. Let me take a look at who's on here. My friend Swole Joel is doing some Victoria 3. We're gonna raid into him. But that's gonna be it for me today. So unfortunately, that'll be the last episode for today, because I'm gonna be out of town through the midweek here. So the next time I'm on will be on Friday. So we'll be doing some more Anno 117. So hopefully I'll see everybody on Friday. Yeah, thank you, Mauricio. Great beginning of the series. See you next time for more. Yes, thank you, thank you. Oh, wait, why did that pop up? Yeah, Java, thank you. Good to see you. I do have an anime to recommend to you. Oh, okay. Quickly, what is it? Because if you're on Twitch, stick around for the raid. If you're on YouTube, this is going to be a see you later. Oh, but that's for next time. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So, yeah, if you're on YouTube, have a good one. If you're on Twitch, stick around for the raid. And as always, be awesome, my friends. I'll see you next time.